Could you use some extra cash? Every Thursday night, we're hosting Chase the Pink Ace with a large jackpot and growing jackpot. I'm RF Bowie, the founder of Team Bowie Cares. 100%.
College is where ideas come to life, where you'll find your path. And at Northern State University, you'll lead the path. It's part of the Northern Experience, right here in Aberdeen, South Dakota. This is where the next generation of leaders thrive through world-class facilities, hands-on experiences, and generous scholarship opportunities to impact every part of who you're meant to be. Don't just earn a degree, shape your future and experience Northern.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Centerville High School football is on stream on Centerville Tornadoes Live from Live Ticket TV. Good evening and howdy again, everyone, along with our producer Noah, Joe Van Gore from the Stan Schmidt Sports Complex in Centerville, South Dakota, where tonight a dandy 9-man matchup between the Centerville Tornadoes, who are receiving votes in a couple of polls in Class 9A with a record of 2-1, representing the Great Plains Conference, the East Division, against the St. Mary's Cardinals from Del Rapids, who are 4-0, a member of the Dakota Valley Conference. They're ranked as high as number 2 in one poll and number 3 in 2 other polls. Welcome to our pregame show. Before we get more into the pregame, let's see what's happening in Class 9A in South Dakota. Let's go back to last Friday's games. Of course, Centerville had their bye week, and last week it was St. Mary's defeating Coleman Egan 54-6. But in 9A football last week, Freeman Marion Freeman Academy defeated Gayville Volland 61-6. Howard over Chester area 51-0. Alcester Hudson got a late touchdown and edged Viborg Hurley 28-26. Hill City over Harding County Bison 43-12. Platte Geddes over Kimball White Lake 22-20. Warner defeated Fulton area 17-14. Harriet Selby area over Lemon McIntosh 42-6. Timberlake over Faith 45-6. Lyman defeated Jones County 46-8. Waverly South Shore over Wabash Summit 28-8. Ipswich defeated Northwestern 56-16. Leola Frederick area over North Central 44-14. Dupree over Gettysburg 42-14. And Wall defeated New Underwood 54-0. Now let's go to the games in Class 9A tonight. Besides Centerville, here at home against Del Rapids St. Mary's, or St. Mary's of Del Rapids. They have rebranded from Del Rapids St. Mary to just St. Mary's this year. Harriet Selby area is taking on Timberlake. Woolsey Wessington takes on Platte Geddes. Lyman against Bennett County. Alcester Hudson, number 3 in 9A, takes on the top team in 9AA. Freeman Marion Freeman Academy at Alcester tonight. Wilmot against Castlewood. Irene Wakanda against Gayville Volland, both those teams looking for their first win of the season. Sully Buttes against Gettysburg. Lemon McIntosh against Harding County Bison. North Central against Northwestern. Howard meets Canastota. Dubrook area over Chester area. Esteline Hendricks and Waverly South Shore. And Kadoka area. And Phillip, and of course we'll keep up to date on those 9A scores during our stream here tonight with Centerville and St. Mary's of Del Rapids. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll tell you about the undefeated St. Mary's Cardinals here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Mr. G's Tires in Centerville wants you to know that your bald tires aren't going to get you to the Tornadoes game tonight. Checking your tires is a must if you want to get to the game. Mr. G's Tires in Centerville makes choosing your brand of tires as easy as 1, 2, 3, getting you on the road safe and in no time at all. With competitive prices and dependable service, you're sure to score with Mr. G's Tires in Centerville.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages.
Mary's Cardinals in the polls in Class 9B in South Dakota this week. Number 3 in the South Dakota Prep Media Poll. Number 2 in the South Dakota Power 5 poll, and number 3 in the South Dakota Football Coaches Association poll. The head coach of St. Mary's, Ross Flemmer, who's in his 26th year, a graduate of South Dakota State, assisted by Casey Mickle, Nathan Lindeman, Matt Hansen, Blaine Bacon, Scott LeBrun, and Alan Haug. Here's how St. Mary's has done this season. Back on August 22nd, defeated Oldham Ramona Rutland 58-6. Defeated Irene Wakanda 52-0. Defeated Arlington 52-0. The Irene Wakanda win came on August 29th. On September 5th, that's when the Cardinals defeated Arlington. And again last week, defeated Coleman Egan 54-6. So they have scored 216 points on the season while giving up only 12. Next week, they'll host Iroquois Lake Preston. On October 3rd, they've got a bye. Coming up on October 10th, they'll host number 3 in 9A, Alcester Hudson. And then to wrap up the regular season, on October 17th, they'll host Sioux Falls Lutheran. All right, that's the latest on St. Mary's. Let's take another 1-minute timeout. And when we come back, we'll tell you about the Centerville Tornadoes. We saw them last with a close 26-21 loss to Alcester Hudson a few weeks ago. We'll be back with the Centerville story after this on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Well, folks, if you got one of those 2025 Grossenberg implement calendars, you probably met their sneaky little buddy, Gino. Let's be honest, some of you forgot about him. Here's the deal. When you swing in for harvest parts, just show the parts crew where Gino's hiding on that calendar, and they'll hand you a free can of pop. That's right. Find Gino, point him out, and claim your prize. Easy as that. Grossenberg Implement, helping with harvest and keeping you refreshed, one pop at a time.
CoreCares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. CoreCares, proudly serving our community.
Well, the Centerville Tornadoes in the polls in Class 9A in South Dakota, receiving 5 votes in the South Dakota Prep Media poll, so just outside the top 5. They're receiving 1 vote as receiving votes in the South Dakota Power 5 poll and receiving votes in the South Dakota Football Coaches Association poll. The head coach of Centerville, Kyle Brown, who's in his third year, a graduate of Dakota State, assisted by Peyton Heyer and Dave Reuter. So far this season, Centerville on August 22nd defeated Dubrook 28-8. In our last home game stream on August 29th, lost to Alcester Hudson 26-21. And then on September 5th, went on the road and defeated Garrettson 35-21. They had a bye last week. Next week, they're at Irene Wakanda on September 26th. On October 3rd, they go to Marion to play Freeman Academy, the number one team in 9AA. On October 10th, host Gayville Vollen. And then on October 17th, the Tornadoes will face a Great Plains Conference opponent that is to be named. Again, the head coach for Centerville is Kyle Brown, and Coach Brown and I had a chance to talk about the Tornadoes the last couple weeks and looking forward to a great ground game in St. Mary's tonight. Well, Coach Brown, a game with Garrettson and a bye week since we last saw the Tornadoes, and I'm sure the bye is coming at a good time because, you've been kind of shaken up a little bit with a hurt here and two.
Yeah, we've had a couple physical games coming off the Garrettson game. It was a game that we got ahead early, and then they fought back really hard. They got a lot of young talent there in Garrettson, and they had some big dudes, and it was a physical contest. So this last week got some rest, got some guys healthy that need to get healthy, cleaned up some things. So it came at a pretty good time. All right. Well, tonight at St. Mary's. They've rebranded from Del Rapids St. Mary to St. Mary's. But, boy, looking at their line, looking at their stats, they want to run that ball down your throat. Yeah, they're a very well-disciplined team, very well coached. They've been kind of running the same offense for a long time, and they add a little bit of a wrinkle this year. They go a little bit of spread, so something to look out for. They got a lot of talent, a lot of athletes. Last year was a game that kind of came down to the wire. I mean, it should be a fun one. Well, talk about then some keys for your guys tonight. Limiting the big play, that's the big one. They like to run that in-tight double wing, 3 yards they're happy with, and they'll bust some big ones. It's just managing how many they have. All right, and of course, on offense, got to get a little ball control going. Yeah, taking care of the ball will be huge. It'd be nice to control some of the clock, get a run game going. That'd be big for us, and then just hit the easy throws in the pass game. All right, that's head coach Kyle Brown on our pregame show, and we're just about ready for the starting lineups here, and then we will get to the national anthem, the coin flip, and see who has the ball first. Again, Centerville 2-1, representing the Great Plains Conference East Division, and the St. Mary's Cardinals 4-0, representing the Dakota Valley Conference. Offensively, for St. Mary's, the quarterback is Jackson Baumberger. The running backs are Tremere Hansen and Lincoln LeBrun. LeBrun leads the Cardinals in rushing, 491 yards, averaging 18 yards a carry with 7 touchdowns. Tremere Hansen, who has 446 yards rushing, averaging 13.5 yards a carry. He has 7 touchdowns on the season. Cade Lutt is the fullback. The tight end are Logan Bauer and Josh Liebel, and on the line, the sender is Alexander Lindeman. Carlo Pica and Gavin Pica are the guards. For St. Mary's on defense, Alex Lindeman and Josh Liebel are the defensive ends. Carlo Pica is the nose. The linebackers are Lincoln LeBrun, Logan Bauer, and Kate Lutt. The corners are Tremere Hansen and Jake Heinitz, and Jackson Baumberger is the safety. Now, the starting offensive lineup for Centerville. At quarterback is Alec Austin. The tight end is Charlie Eide. The running back is Corbin Topol. The wide receivers are Noah Schoenfelter, Cullen Powert, and Hogan Hybertson. The center is Jackson Bertrand Stever, but don't be too surprised if you see Hunter Swift starting. He's been injured the last couple weeks and may be able to go tonight. And Alex Alverdov and Jackson Westra are the guards. For Centerville on defense, Alec Alverdov and Noah Schoenfelter are the defensive end. The nose
is Jackson Westra. The linebackers are Alec Austin, Lane Reuter, Charlie Eide, and Corbin Topol, and the corners are Logan Reuters. Some team stats for Del Rapids St. Mary's, I should say. They averaged 353 yards rushing a game, 48 passing a game, a total offense of 400 yards, averaging 54 points a game. On defense, they allow 76 yards total. That's it. 40 yards rushing and 36 passing, only allowing 3 points per game. They have recovered 2 fumbles and intercepted 5 passes. Centerville, as a team, is averaging 323 yards total offense, 81 rushing, 242 passing, averaging 28 points a game with 48 first downs on the season. They've given up 3 sacks on the season. Centerville giving up 242 yards total a game. That's 117 yards rushing and 125 yards passing. They have recovered 1 fumble and intercepted 2 passes. So that's the starting lineups and some stats for both teams. We'll be back with the coin flip in the opening kickoff after this on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
At Knutson Masonry, they take pride in their work. They work hard to produce quality masonry as they continue to build their business brick by brick. They are honored to have been a part of numerous projects of all sizes. They do a wide variety of projects, both residential and commercial, across the tri-state region. They have done large projects such as schools and a range of residential, from house exteriors to mailboxes and fireplaces. Knutson Masonry is proud to have served so many satisfied customers and are proud supporters of the Tornadoes.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Concession stand is
manned by the Halloween committee. They have another great Halloween lined up October 17th and 18th. All right, the captains about to meet. The captains for Centerville, Jackson Westra, along with Alex Erverdov, also Charlie Eide, and Alec Austin. Our officials tonight, the referee is Hunter White, the umpire is Cole Hagan, the head linesman Greg Schwiebach, the line judge Luke O'Hara, and the back judge is none other than Charlie Preen. Of course, you'll recognize that name from doing Centerville streams and other streams for Live Ticket TV. Of course, Charlie, done with his college education at the University of South Dakota and back home, but a part of a officiating crew here for Centerville and St. Mary's tonight. And St. Mary's has won the coin flip and elected to receive. They'll be going from right to left on your screen here in the first quarter. Centerville will be kicking off, moving left to right in the first quarter as you're seeing it here on Centerville Tornadoes Live on Live Ticket TV. So great to have you along. Let's get the weather conditions before we start. Well, it is partly cloudy. It was mostly cloudy when I got here to Centerville after 5 o'clock, but some of the clouds have moved away. So right now, partly cloudy, 68 degrees with calm winds. So a great night for football. And let's see how the Centerville Tornadoes will deal with that punishing ground game of St. Mary's of Del Rapids. Kicking off will be Noah Schoenfelter, Lincoln LeBrun, and Tremere Hansen, the 1-2 punch for the Cardinals in the rushing game, are back deep, standing back at their own 20-yard line. And Noah, seeing that the football has come off, now we'll have Carson Sickink to hold it. Here's the advance, and this game is underway. This ball moving away, and you got to pick it up as Lincoln LeBrun goes back inside the 15, and he will get a decent return as he'll go to the 29-yard line, and that is the starting point for St. Mary's on offense, and 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. What will be the first play? St. Mary's runs a double wing formation, and it's a tight formation. Again, 1st and 10 from their own 29. Whoops. On the defensive line, Jackson West removed. So a hard count by Jackson Bomberger. Or will it cost St. Mary's? Nope, it'll cost Centerville 5 yards. So 1st and 5 for St. Mary's at their own 34-yard line. Motion by LeBrun. He'll get the pitch. In the backfield, though, a great play. Alec Austin with 18 tackles and 3 tackles for loss will tackle LeBrun for a loss back to the 31-yard line. So it's a loss of 3. It'll be 2nd down and about 8. And we've got guys moving all over the place. Who did it this time? I think it might be St. Mary's. And it is.
Flag on the play is false start against the Cardinals.
So the Cardinals going nowhere but backwards.
2nd and 13.
And the ball moved back to between the 25 and the 26-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 13. So 2nd and 13 at the 26. And trying to get to the outside, Tremere Hansen, and he does. Big run and near midfield before he's brought out of bounds. Brought out of bounds by Lane Reuter, who has an interception so far this year, and Logan Reuter, who has 10 tackles and an interception. But there is a flag on the play. Could this be holding? The spot of the foul is at the 31. Yep, it'll be holding against the Cardinals, and that'll be a 10-yard penalty. So instead of 1st and 10 near midfield, they are now backed up to the 22-yard line.
Penalty marked off from the spot of the foul makes it 2nd and 19.
So 2nd and 19. Here's the pitch, and in the backfield, Centerville was waiting as Alex Alverdov tackles Tremere Hansen. Again, 33 carries, 446 yards, 13 and a half yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, and another flag. Nope. Thought I heard that there was another flag on the play, but the loss back to the 20, where it'll be 3rd down and about 19. Back to throw, Bomberger for the first time, looking. Now he'll run with it, and he will not get far. It will be a punting situation. He will get across the 25 to the 26-yard line. So after having a 1st and 5 at their own 34, they'll have to punt it away on their first possession. Tremere Hansen is the punter. The snapper is Jacob Garretts. No special team stats available for St. Mary's. Kind of a high snap. Kind of a rugby kick. And the ball will roll dead inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. So that's where Centerville will start. 1st and 10 with 9:39 left to go in the first quarter and no score as the St. Mary's offense kind of shot themselves in the foot with a combined 15 yards in penalties on their first possession of the game. That last punt about 33 yards, so 1st and 10 for Centerville. Here is motion by Noah Schoenfelter. And not much going in the run game there for Centerville.
Logan Reuter on the carry.
Logan Reuter on the carry. Logan with 52 yards rushing and a couple touchdowns. Takes a loss back to the 30, where it'll be 2nd down and 13. So Centerville going to their spread formation. 3 receivers here to the near side and 1 to the far side. They're on the far side hash on 2nd and 13. Back to throw, Alec Austin. Little out pattern to Cullen Pollard. And Pollard is drugged down, got the loss back, and a few more across the 35 to the 37-yard line. So gain of 8. Jay Keinitz from his cornerback spot credited with the stop. So 3rd down, let's say along 6 for Centerville from their own 37-yard line. As we're almost 4 minutes into the first quarter with no score. Centerville on 3rd downs, they have 15 conversions so far this season, 47% on 3rd downs. Here's motion, and the pitch to Schoenfelter around the end, and he's knocked out of bounds, short of the 1st down at the 41-yard line. As Logan Bauer, 9.5 tackles and a fumble recovery for the Cardinals, knocks him out of bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down and a punting situation, we think. Alec Austin is the punter. Charlie Eide is the snapper. And Centerville's going to go for it. So from an empty backfield, and now Corbin Topol joins Austin in the backfield. Back to throw, and he will run for it, and he will get it. 1st down at the 45-yard line. So they convert 1 4th down or they convert that third down. On fourth downs, they've converted 6, which is 75%. So they convert a fourth down and have it 1st and 10 at their own 45 with no score. 7:40 left to go, first quarter. Here's a pass to the right, and it's caught. This is Topol. Topol in St. Mary's territory. He's got a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of St. Mary's. So a 17-yard pass and a first down, a second first down. So now 50 first downs on the season for Centerville, and they've got it 1st and 10 on the near side hash at the St. Mary's 37-yard line. Here comes motion by Hogan Hybertson. Handoff goes to Topol, and Topol thrown for a loss. Back to the 39-yard line by Lincoln LeBrun. 12 and a half tackles and an interception so far this season. Their leading tackler is Josh Liebel at a defensive end. 15 and a half tackles and a fumble recovery. So the loss of 2 on the play makes it 2nd and 10 just inside the St. Mary's 40-yard line. We're almost halfway through the first quarter already and no score. And the handoff inside and another loss on the play. Logan Reuter. Logan Reuter with 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. As we mentioned, he will lose a couple. So it'll be 3rd and 14 back at the St. Mary's 42. So Centerville has tried the middle twice. Let's see if it's a run to the outside or a pass. Alec Austin from the gun on 3rd down and 14. Motion by Pollard. Back to throw. Pass over the middle, and it's knocked away. Lincoln LeBrun had Charlie Eide covered, and it brings up 4th down and 14. So for the second dime on this drive, this opening drive, they'll go for it on 4th and 14. Clock stops on the incompletion with 5:51 left to go in the first quarter. St. Mary's nothing and Centerville's nothing on Centerville Tornadoes Live. From an empty backfield, Alec Austin, a one-step drop. Now a little fade pass, and it's caught. First down at the 20-yard line for Hogan Hybertson, who leads the Tornadoes in receiving. 13 catches, 214 yards, averaging 16 yards a catch, and has a couple touchdowns, but a 22-yard gain, and 1st and 10 just inside the 20. So Centerville converts a second 4th down. Again, this drive started at their own 33. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes, just inside the St. Mary's 20. Now a little confusion. And from another empty backfield, here's motion by Thomas Rotter. He will get the carry, trying to get to the outside, and he has got a first down and more. Finally knocked out of bounds. They'll say he stepped out inside the 10 at the 8-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal. Thomas Rotter, 7 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown coming in as a 1st and goal for Centerville at the St. Mary's 8-yard line, and the clock continues to run with 4:39 left to go first quarter and no score, but the Tornadoes are looking for the house, and it appears we have a timeout. Timeout, St. Mary's with 4:28 left to go in the first quarter. St. Mary's nothing, Centerville nothing on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
by the Halloween Committee. Please support them as they host Halloween again the weekend of October 17th and 18th.
That's something to be very
Also, the Centerville Booster Club
from Lehman Land and Auction out of Marion, South Dakota.
be having the football toss at halftime. Anybody interested in throwing a football to win a prize, head out to the
how fast you are,
middle of the field at
how good your chant
halftime.
is. It's how the people appreciate your name and accept your name. He told me that once. So that's the one that I hold pretty close. He'd be proud, I think.
Timeout St. Mary's, their first of the half. Centerville taking this from their own 33 on their first drive. Have it first and goal at the St. Mary's 8-yard line. A 22-yard pass to Hogan Hybertson has set up the Tornadoes. So that trip set to the far side. Here's Topol in motion to the left. And Alec Austin with a blocker in front of him will try to get to the outside. He's to the 5, to the 4, stretching in. Touchdown! Touchdown Centerville with 4:23 left to go in the first quarter. Alec Austin with 118 yards rushing on 27 carries, 2 touchdowns, now 3 touchdowns, and he has fumbled it once if you want to throw that in. But Austin will run it in from 8 yards out, and Centerville with the first lead of the game. And now the extra point by Noah Schoenfelter, who's 10 of 11 on PATs, the holder Alec Austin, the snapper Charlie Eide. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:23 left to go, first quarter. It's Centerville 7 and St. Mary's nothing. We'll be back after this on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
A 67-yard drive by Centerville, capped off by an 8-yard touchdown run by Alec Austin. Noah Schoenfelter with a kick after, and Centerville 7, St. Mary's nothing. As Noah Schoenfelter will kick it off. Tremere Hansen and Lincoln LeBrun back deep inside their own 15. Kind of a line drive kick. This is LeBrun fumbling it and picking it up and then running out of bounds. It looked on that far sideline that the ball was just kind of trickling there and it wouldn't go out of bounds. Otherwise, that would have given St. Mary's much better field position. As it is, here's their second drive, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Again, they had 15 yards in penalties in their first drive and had to punt it away. And then Centerville with a 67-yard drive to take the early lead. Here's the pitch to LeBrun right up the middle, and he will have a first down and more across the 30 out to the 34-yard line. Tackled on the play by Charlie Eide, who leads the Tornadoes in tackles with 24. He has a fumble recovery and a defensive touchdown. So the first down for St. Mary's. Again, they don't change their offensive set. Here's the pitch back to Tremere Hansen. And Hansen will get to the 38-yard line. After a gain of 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Lane Reuter, who has an interception on the season from his linebacker spot, credited with the stop. 3:25 left to go first quarter. 7-0 Centerville. 2nd down and 6. Here's the pitch to LeBrun. And LeBrun will get across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Alec Austin will make the stop. Alec Austin with 18 tackles on the season, 3 tackles for loss. So a gain of 3, 3rd down and 3. And this is where the Centerville defense has to be stout. Third and 3 at the 42 for St. Mary's. Here's the pitch to Tremere Hansen, trying to get out, and he's thrown back for a loss. That's what we were talking about. The Centerville defense has to be stout, and bringing him down, Hogan Hybertson. It'll bring up 4th down. And what's the call here? .2:15 left to go first quarter. Centerville 7, St. Mary's nothing, and St. Mary's will go for it on 4th down. So 4th down and about 4 from the 41. Hand off to LeBrun. 1st down and more. He's still on his feet. Fumbles the football, though. There's a scramble at midfield, and Centerville has it. Lincoln LeBrun had the 1st down, but the ball was stripped away. So Lincoln LeBrun will fumble it. Alec Austin will recover. So 1st and 10 Tornadoes right at midfield, leading 7-0 with 1:50 left to go. So on 4th down and 4, they go for it. St. Mary's does, but fumbles it away. So Centerville, with their second possession, 1st and 10, right smack in the middle of the field. Here's motion, and the handoff to Topol. Topol, maybe a yard.
Topol on the carry, brought down by LeBrun.
LeBrun, Josh Liebel, among those in on the stop. So 2nd down and 9 at the St. Mary's 49. So 2nd and 9 for Centerville from the far side hash at the St. Mary's 49. Here's the pitch, trying to get outside. And Thomas Rotter will be brought down across the St. Mary's 45 to the 43-yard line. So let's call that a 3rd down and a short 4. 45 seconds left in the quarter. Centerville with a 7-0 lead. And the Tornadoes trying to take advantage of a fumble by Lincoln LeBrun on 4th down and short. From the empty backfield, back to throw. Here's a pass over the middle, and it's caught! Caught by Noah Schoenfelter, 10 catches, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He beat his defender right at the 20-yard line. So a 23-yard gain and a 1st down, and that should be the last play of the first quarter as the clock winds down to 10 seconds left to go in the quarter, and Centerville not interested in running a play. So after 1 quarter, Centerville from Class 9A leads undefeated from 9B St. Mary's of Del Rapids 7-0. We'll be back with the second quarter after this 1-minute break on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Along with Noah at the controls, Joe Van Gore from the Stan Schmidt Sports Complex in Centerville with 9-man football in South Dakota, and Centerville with a 7-0 lead over St. Mary's starting the second quarter. So on 1st and 10 from the 20, here's the handoff trying to get outside. Noah Schoenfelter, flags fly in, and that's usually in the area of a hold. As Schoenfelter did get to inside the 15. Again, our white hat tonight, Hunter White, holding Centerville.
Penalty holding against the Tornadoes.
So it'll be 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 1st and 20 for the Tornadoes, now back at the St. Mary's 30. All right, 1st and 20 after the 10-yard holding penalty.
Thank you to our special cheerleaders tonight.
Here's motion. Handoff goes to Topol, and Topol upended by Lincoln LeBrun after a short gain. Let's call it a 3-yard gain to the 27, where it'll be 2nd down and 17. Play action fake. Here's Austin with a shovel pass to Topol, trying to get to the outside, cuts inside, and it's a great move. He will be upended inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Hanson on the stop for St. Mary's. So a gain of 12 on the play. Great move by Topol. As he got the shovel pass, it'll be 3rd down and 5. So the Tornadoes will have 2 downs to make 5 yards to keep the down markers moving. Third and 5. Centerville will send 2 to the right and 1 to the left. Topol is behind Alec Austin in the gun. Now motion by Eide. Play action fake again. Austin will run for it, trying to get away, and he will get maybe a couple yards.
Brought down by Bauer and Pika, and bring it 4th and 3.
Pika, one of the Pikas, was in on the stop. Gain of 2, 4th and 3. Centerville, on their opening drive, converted 2 4th downs. Again, coming in 75% on 4th downs. They've converted now 7, check that, 8 on the season. So on 4th and 3, Austin looking over the middle, and it is Incomplete.
Pass incomplete. Intended for Schoenfelder.
Schoenfelder claims that a St. Mary's defender had a hold of his shoulder pad, so Centerville now 2 out of 3 on 4th downs. Turns it over on downs. Here comes St. Mary's with their 3rd possession. 1st and 10 at their own 13. And the handoff inside to LeBrun.
LeBrun on the carry. Brought down by Jackson Westra. Short gain on the play.
Jackson Westra from his nose position makes the stop. Jackson, 14 tackles coming in. A gain of about 3, so let's call it second. A long 7. Here's Tremere Hansen trying to get outside, and Hansen will get a first down as he gets across the 20 out to about the 25-yard line for a first down.
Hansen on the carry. Tackled by Hogan Hybertson. That's good for a Cardinal first down.
So 8:40 left to go before halftime. Centerville 7 and St. Mary's nothing. The Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25 after starting this drive at their own 13. Play action fake and wide open and catching it and going is Logan Bauer. Bauer will outrun the Centerville defense for a 75-yard touchdown. Logan Bauer with a touchdown with 8:13 left in the half. Logan Bauer, 1 catch, 3 yards, and a touchdown. Well, he's now got 2 receptions, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Baumberger with a 75-yard bomb, and St. Mary's will go for 2. Here's a trap inside, but not getting in is LeBrun. So the 2-point conversion, the run fails. So it's Centerville 7 and St. Mary's 6 with 8:13 left to go first half. We'll be back with the St. Mary's kickoff after this on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
All right, an 87-yard drive, and St. Mary's is on the board, but the 2-point conversion no good. Josh Liebel will be kicking off. Thomas Rodder, Clayton Brown back deep for Centerville, standing back inside their own 15. Short kick picked up by Brown. Brown coming to the near side with a good return as he will be tackled on special teams by Coulter Griffin. But Centerville will have great field position to start this drive. 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Again, after Centerville was driving for another score, they turn it over on downs. St. Mary's after a first down, gets a 75-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Bomberger to Logan Bauer, but the 2-point conversion run by LeBrun fails, and it's 7-6 Centerville. Here come the Tornadoes with 8 minutes left in the half, leading by 1. Quick pass. It's caught by Charlie Eide. Eide will get about 7 yards to the 45-yard line, as it'll be second down and 3. Lincoln LeBrun. We've mentioned his name a lot, not only on offense, but on defense as well. As he gets credited with the stop, it'll be 2nd and 3 from the 45. The first quarter, folks, only took about 20 minutes. Even though the sun is scheduled to go down at 7:30, the way these two teams are operating on the ground, we might be done by 9 o'clock. You never know. Play action fake. Austin steps up, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Looking for Hogan Hybertson. Pass incomplete around the 40-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Tornadoes from their own 45-yard line. Our next Centerville home game will be October 10th. Gayville Vollen comes to town in Great Plains Conference action. Here's motion by Pollard. Another fake by Austin. Pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. As Noah Schoenfelter, for the second time, is claiming that he was interfered with. But the pass falls incomplete, and it's 4th down and 3. Centerville, who is 2 out of 3s on 4th downs, will try again. Austin being rushed, going to the outside. He's going to try to go for it, and he does. He's got a first down and more to the 45-yard line of St. Mary's. He needed 3. He got 8. And another 4th down conversion by Centerville. And 6:58 left to go first half. 7-6 Centerville. The Tornadoes will keep the down markers moving. At least that's what a couple college coaches would tell me. From the I set, here's the pitch to Rotter. Rotter trying to get outside, tripped up by guess who? Lincoln LeBrun. He will get 3 to the between the 43 and 42-yard line for a 2nd down and 7. Again, on their first drive, St. Mary's had 15 yards in penalties. They punted to Centerville, who went 67 yards for a score. And then after Centerville turned it over on downs inside the red zone, St. Mary's hit for a 75-yard touchdown pass. Austin from an empty backfield, pass to the right, and he short hops Noah Schoenfelter at the first down marker at the 40. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Clock stops on the incompletion with 5:46 left in the half. Hogan Hybertson will go wide to the right. And now going wide to the far side, Noah Schoenfelter. Austin back to throw. Just kind of throws it up for grabs, and it is tipped in the air and incomplete. Bo Eide, a 135-pound freshman. As the ball was Tipped away, and it brings up 4th down and 7. Centerville has not punted yet, and they will go for yet another 4th down conversion. Clock stops with 5:38 left to go in the half. 7-6 in favor of Centerville. Undefeated St. Mary's, number 3 in 9B, and Centerville, 2-1, receiving votes in 9A. Empty backfield for Austin. Twins to either side. Here's Austin on the move, and will he get there? He needed to get to just shy of the 35-yard line of St. Mary's, and it is a 1st down. So Alec Austin on another scramble will convert a 4th down and get the necessary yardage. And now the white hat. Hunter White with a couple words for Alec Austin as he'll come to the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 35 of St. Mary's. So Alec must have got out of bounds because the clock is stopped at 5:29 left in the half. Now the clock is wound. Here's a delay and a flag on the play. Noah Schoenfelter dropped for a loss on the play, but another holding penalty on Centerville, which really has only been their 2 penalties on the evening. So 10-yard penalty. We'll move it back to the 45 where it'll be 1st down and 20. So on the near side hash, the ball marked at the 45 where it'll be 1st and 20. And the clock wound, coming up on 5 minutes to go in the half. 7-6 Centerville. Tornadoes 1st and 20 at the St. Mary's 45. Here's motion by Rotter. Rotter will get the handoff, trying to get to the outside, and good pursuit that time by St. Mary's.
Rotter on the carry.
Rotter, maybe. Well, they're going to say no gain, so 2nd and 20. Lincoln LeBrun. Again, 12 and a half tackles and an interception for St. Mary's coming in. Ran down Rotter, and it'll be 2nd and 20. As we're moving through the first half like a hot knife through butter, Centerville will get the ball first in the 3rd quarter. Motion by Corbin Topol. Austin looking over the middle. Ball tipped away from Hogan Hybertson at the last moment by a St. Mary's defender, and it'll be 3rd and 20. Clock stops on the incompletion with 4:03 left to go in the half. 7-6 Centerville. Well, Centerville looking to dig into that 20 yards to the line of gain here on 3rd down. And Austin from an empty backfield, scrambling, and sacked for a loss. 4th sack of the season by the Tornadoes' opponents, as it'll move it back to the 48-yard line where it'll be 4th and 23. Now, maybe this is a good time for a punt because you want to play field position, especially with St. Mary's and their punishing ground game. Coming up on 2:30 left to go. Yep, and Alec Austin with now his 5th punt on the season in punt formation. Nobody back for St. Mary's. And a great 9-iron shot by Alec Austin.
Austin's punt down by Jackson Westra.
Jackson Westra downs it.
10 from the 21-yard line.
So the ball marked at the 21-yard line. So about a 27-yard punt and no return. That was Centerville's first punt of the evening. And now St. Mary's with just 2:12 left in the half, 2 timeouts. We'll go to work again with gaining 353 yards on the ground. Here is Tremere Hansen trying to break away. He will get a first down.
On the carry, run out of bounds by Hybertson. That's good for a first down.
Hogan Hybertson will knock him out of bounds. But the clock continues to run now. 2 minutes left to go in the half. A gain to the 35, so a 14-yard gain around the far side for Tremere Hansen of St. Mary's. Here is LeBrun trying to get outside. He's hard to bring down, and he's finally brought down here on the near side by Lane Reuter from his linebacker spot, but not before another first down. So they've gone from their own 21 to the 47. So a 12-yard gain that time by LeBrun. So 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's the handoff to Hansen going to the left side. And Corbin Topol had a chance at him in the backfield. But Hansen will get good yardage on first down into Centerville territory at the, well, let's call it the 47.5-yard line. It'll be second down and about 4 from there after a gain of 6. 1:50 left to go in the half. And a short game, but it is a first down.
Lutt on the carry.
Cade Lutt, 6 carries, 27 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has a reception for 26 yards on the season. We'll get the first down for St. Mary's, 1st and 10 at the Centerville 42. Tremere Hansen going to the left side again, and this time he will get out of bounds. And let's see, gain of 2, or maybe just 1. Or did he lose yardage? He lost yardage that time, back to the 43. So it'll be second down and about 11.
Short loss on the play brings it 2nd and 11.
So on 2nd and long, Bomberger to throw, and it is incomplete. Intended for Tremere Hansen. Good defense by Lane Reuter from his linebacker spot. Clock stops with 1:20 left in the half. And it's 7-6 Centerville. Well, not much to mention in the way of drives here in the first half. This is St. Mary's 4th, while Centerville has had 3. So on 3rd down and 11, Bomberger back to throw, steps up, little dump pass, incomplete, and he almost threw it to a tornado. The closest to that pass was Charlie Eide. And 4th down and a long 11 for St. Mary's from the Centerville 43. Now 1:14 left to go in the half. As many yards as St. Mary's has gained on the ground this season, they really haven't had an explosive play from the running game yet, just in the passing game for their lone touchdown. Back to throw Bomberger. Bomberger looking left, now stepping up, has plenty of field to work with. No, this is Tremere Hansen with the ball. And Hansen will get a first down as he will get to the 30-yard line.
Hansen on the carry. That's good for a Cardinals first down.
So the gain of about 12 yards and a timeout. St. Mary's with 57 seconds left in the half. It's Centerville 7 and St. Mary's 6. Let's take a short timeout here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Central Farmers Cooperative, Fremar LLC, is an agriculture-based company that provides products, services, and market access in the areas of agronomy, feed, grain, and petroleum. Whether it is their agronomy team helping with production, the grain team assisting in developing a marketing plan, or many other services the Central Farmers Co-op and Fremar offer, they look forward to servicing and personalizing their patrons' farming operations. With locations across southeast South Dakota, for your farming purposes, make it Central Farmers Co-op and Fremar.
Could you use some extra cash? Every Thursday night, we're hosting Chase the Pink Ace with a large jackpot and growing jackpot. I'm RF Bowie, the founder of Team Bowie Cares. 100% of the profits go to local cancer patients fighting their fight. You can get your tickets at any business inside Al's Oasis or online at Chase the Pink Ace.
Exactly 1 minute left to go first half. 7-6 Centerville. And after a third down and about 11, St. Mary's with a first down at the Centerville 30. And Hansen is at quarterback. He will throw, and it's caught by Bomberger. So running back to quarterback. Hansen has been the quarterback the last couple times, and Bomberger at 6'4", 185 pounds and a junior, outjumps his Centerville defender, and now a timeout wanted by Centerville. It'll be first and goal for St. Mary's at the Centerville 2-yard line when we come back after this short break here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
.org. Drawing is held every Thursday night at 8:08 p.m. at the Last Chance Saloon inside Al's Oasis. Thanks for caring.
College is where ideas come to life, where you'll find your pack. And at Northern State University, you'll lead the pack. It's part of the Northern Experience, right here in Aberdeen, South Dakota. This is where the next generation of leaders thrive. Through world-class facilities, hands-on experiences, and generous scholarship opportunities to impact every part of who you're meant to be. Don't just earn a degree, shape your future and experience Northern.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking.
All right, right back to it. Centerville takes their first time out of the first half with 45 seconds left in the half. First and goal for St. Mary's. Bomberger is now back at quarterback. Tremere Hansen trying for the end zone, and he is in. With 38 seconds left to go in the half,
Hansen on the carry. That's good.
St. Mary's as Hansen with a 2-yard touchdown run for Tremere Hansen, his 8th touchdown of the season to make it 12-7. And again, St. Mary's will go for 2. First lead for St. Mary's tonight. So a 79-yard drive by St. Mary's. And here they go for 2. Hansen will just run it and into the end zone, so he will score all 8 points. With 37 seconds left in the half, it's now St. Mary's 14, Centerville 7, back with the St. Mary's kickoff after this 30-second break, one spot here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Okay. All right, well, St. Mary's, after the first Centerville punt, has scored on their second straight possession. Tremere Hansen, a 2-yard run. Here's the kickoff by Josh Liebel. And here is Thomas Rotter trying to do something with it, and he will get back to about the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Tornadoes. Lincoln LeBrun with the stop. Or was that Jake Heinitz? Jake Heinitz wears number 9. Lincoln LeBrun wears 8. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the 8 and the 9 in the back of their jersey. Centerville 1st and 10 at the 39. They have 2 timeouts left. Pump fake. Austin will be sacked. Sacked for a loss. Back to the 34-yard line, so a 5-yard loss, 2nd and 15. And a timeout wanted by Centerville, their second timeout. Tell you what, let's keep it here. 23 seconds left in the half. Centerville looking for the explosive play to get them on the board, to get back the lead before halftime. But St. Mary's trailing 7-0 after one quarter, in a quarter pretty much dominated by Centerville, has come back with a 75-yard touchdown pass and a 2-yard run, and 1 out of 2 on 2-point conversions, and we're at 14-7, just 25 seconds away from halftime. All right, each team with 1 timeout left in the half. 2nd down and about 15 for Centerville from the 34. Austin looking long over the middle. Got a catch at the 1st down marker, and moving is Hogan Hybertson. And Hybertson, it's short of the 1st down.
Pass complete to Hogan Hybertson to the 47-yard line. 3rd and 1.
So it'll be the 3rd and final timeout for Centerville in this half. 18 seconds remain in the half. 14-7, St. Mary's. Again, we'll go over the first half scoring summary and the drives, and then the scoreboard from South Dakota Class 9A, and maybe some other scores in the other classes from the area. Again, next week, Centerville will be at Irene Wakanda. In 2 weeks, they'll play Freeman Marion Freeman Academy up in Marion. Next up for the St. Mary's Cardinals, they'll host Iroquois Lake Preston. Then on October 3rd, they'll have their only bye. Austin from an empty backfield, looking over the middle, got a catch, but it is a 1st down to temporarily stop the clock to Corbin Topol. So Josh Liebel will make the stop. 9 seconds left in the half. Centerville out of timeouts. So Austin will look for the big one. Nope, he will run with it. And he did not get the clock stopped on time. He tried to run up to the line and then take a knee, which would have given him one more play. But that is the half. And at the half, in a great matchup, the number 3 team in Class 9B, St. Mary's from Del Rapids, and receiving votes in all the polls in 9A, the Centerville Tornadoes. The score at the half is St. Mary's 14 and Centerville 7. We'll be back with halftime after this break here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Mr. G's Tires in Centerville wants you to know that your bald tires aren't going to get you to the Tornadoes game tonight. Checking your tires is a must if you want to get to the game. Mr. G's Tires in Centerville makes choosing your brand of tires as easy as 1, 2, 3, getting you on the road safe and in no time at all. With competitive prices and dependable service, you're sure to score with Mr. G's Tires in Centerville.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Well, folks, if you got one of those 2025 Grossenberg implement calendars, you probably met their sneaky little buddy, Gino. Let's be honest, some of you forgot about him. Here's the deal. When you swing in for harvest parts, just show the parts crew where Gino's hiding on that calendar, and they'll hand you a free can of pop. That's right. Find Gino, point him out, and claim your prize. Easy as that. Grossenberg Implement, helping with harvest and keeping you refreshed one pop at a time.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
At Knutson Masonry, they take pride in their work.
Back at the Stan Schmid Sports Complex in Centerville, along with Noah at the controls, Joe Van Gore, and at halftime, we've got a good one. St. Mary of Del Rapids leads Centerville 14-7 after one quarter. Centerville led 7-0. Here's the first half scoring summary. Centerville, after St. Mary's had to punt it away on their first possession, score with 4:23 left to go first quarter. It was Alec Austin on an 8-yard touchdown run, and Noah Schoenfelter with a kick after on a 67-yard drive. Centerville led 7-0. And then the second quarter belonged to St. Mary's with 2 touchdowns, the first with 8:13 left to go in the first half. Jackson Bomberger with a 75-yard touchdown pass to Logan Bauer, but the run for 2 failed on an 87-yard drive, and it was Centerville still with the lead, 7-6. But then, with 38 seconds left to go in the half, St. Mary's would score on a Tremere Hansen 2-yard touchdown run for Tremere, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and Tremere with the 2-point conversion on a 79-yard drive to make the halftime score. St. Mary's 14 and Centerville 7. It was a quick first half, as it took just under an hour. Here are the first half drive. St. Mary's got the opening kickoff, started from their own 29, but had 15 yards in penalties on that first drive and had to punt it away. Then Centerville took over at the 33, and it was highlighted by a 17-yard pass, and then eventually it would be a touchdown run by Alec Austin. Then St. Mary's with the 19. It was Lincoln LeBrun with a first down, but then he fumbled the football. And Centerville took over at midfield, got a 23-yard pass before the end of the first quarter, but ended up turning it over on downs in the red zone. And then St. Mary's took over on their own 13. That's when they got the 75-yard touchdown pass from Bomberger to Bauer to trail 7-6. Centerville got it at their own 38, had to punt it away for the first time tonight. Then St. Mary's took it over on their 21 and drove it down the field and got a touchdown. And then Centerville took over at their own 39, couldn't do anything with it, and then we came to halftime. Halftime score is St. Mary's 14 and Centerville 7. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will take a look at the scores from Class 9A in South Dakota and maybe some area scores from the other classes after this on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
They work hard to produce quality masonry as they continue to build their business brick by brick. They are honored to have been a part of numerous projects of all sizes. They do a wide variety of projects, both residential and commercial, across the tri-state region. They have done large projects such as schools and a range of residential, from house exteriors to mailboxes and fireplaces. Knutson Masonry is proud to have served so many satisfied customers and are proud supporters of the Tornadoes.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
All right, back in Centerville at halftime, St. Mary's 14 and Centerville 7. Let's take a look at the other scores in 9A from SD Score Feed. Harriet Selby area leads Timber Lake 26-0, 1 minute to go first half. At halftime, Platte Geddes leads Woolsey Wessington 14-6. Lyman leads Bennett County 26-8 at halftime. Harding County Bison leads Lemon McIntosh 28-7, 4 minutes to go first half. Sully Buttes leads Gettysburg 14-0, 1 minute to go first half. Start of the second quarter, Castlewood 50 and Wilmont 0. Freeman Academy leads Alcester Hudson 20-13, under a minute to go in the first half over in Alcester. North Central leads Northwestern 6-0 at halftime. Howard leads Canastota 27-0 at halftime. Dubrook area leads Chester area 28-0 at halftime. Esteline Hendricks leads Waverly South Shore 31-0, 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Kadoka area and Phillip are scoreless with just underway in that game. No score on Irene Wakanda and Gayville Vollen, and that is who Centerville has next week over in Irene. Centerville at Irene Wakanda coming up next week. All right, let's check some area scores in 9AA. Scotland Menno leads Burke 45-0 under a minute to go first half. Bonham leads Kimball White Lake 12-0, 1 minute to go in the first half. 9B scores from the area. Avon leads Cologne 36-0, 1 minute to go in the first quarter. And let's see. Let's go now to 11A from the area. Madison leads Vermilion 27-7 at halftime. Sioux Falls Christian leads Canton 44-0 at halftime. Lennox and West Central are scoreless at halftime. Tri-Valley leads Dakota Valley 14-0 at halftime. 11B from the area. Elk Point Jefferson leads Baltic 48-6 under a minute to go first half. Wagner and Bridgewater Emory Ethan tied at 21, 1 minute to go in the second quarter. And let's see, 11AA. Yankton doesn't play until tomorrow night. They'll be at 11 AAA Harrisburg. That's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. All right, so those are the scores from SD Score Feed here at the half, with St. Mary's leading Centerville 14-7. We'll be back with the third quarter of action. Centerville will get the ball first in the third quarter. Let's take this break now on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Honest about everything. If there's a problem, we try to fix it. We've kept the family name going for 75 years. I think that's something to be very proud of. I'm Mike Wiener. I'm Wiener Man and Auction out of Marion, South Dakota. And my middle name is Earl. I'm named after my grandfather. And being an auctioneer isn't all about how fast you are and how good your champ is. It's how the people appreciate your name and accept your name. He told me that once. That's one that I hold pretty close. He'd be proud of him.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimmatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
All right, just about ready to start the third quarter. St. Mary's 14 and Centerville 7. Again, Centerville with their touchdown. Alec Austin with an 8-yard run. And the point after made it 7-0. In the second quarter, it was Jackson Bomberger, 75-yard touchdown pass to Logan Bauer, but the run for two failed. Centerville still had the lead at 7-6 on an 87-yard drive. The Centerville touchdown with a 67-yard drive. And then St. Mary's scored with 38 seconds left in the half on a Tremere Hansen 2-yard run. And the Hansen run makes it 14-7 St. Mary's on a 79-yard drive heading into the third quarter. But Del Rapids did receive to start the game, so that means that Centerville will be starting with the ball in the third quarter. Again, after their initial touchdown, had a great drive going from midfield after a Lincoln LeBrun fumble, but had to turn it over on downs in the red zone. So St. Mary's lining up to kick off. Josh Liebel doing the kickoff honors. Again, Thomas Rotter and Clayton Brown will be back deep for the Tornadoes, standing back at around their own 15-yard line. So great to have you along here on Centerville Tornadoes Live. Again, our next home game will not be until October 10th when the Tornadoes will host Gayville Vollen, and then on October 17th, the Tornadoes will host a Great Plains Conference opponent. Short kickoff, and it's taken by Clayton Brown. Brown up the left sideline. He had a couple guys to beat and into St. Mary's territory with a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. So a short kickoff by Liebel of St. Mary's, and Clayton Brown took it up the far sideline and got to the point where he had a couple guys to beat. They spun him down, but well, now the ball will be marked at the 43, but this is the first time that either team has started. Oh, no, penalty. All right, didn't see the flag. So Centerville back in their own territory to start this drive.
On the play brings the ball back to the 20.
Holding on the kickoff return. And it will be 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. So instead of starting at the 42 of St. Mary's, holding, we'll have the Tornadoes starting from their own 27. I think 3 or 4 penalties on Centerville in the first half, and I know of 3 of them that have been holding. High snap. Here's the pitch. Trying to get outside is Rotter, and Rotter spun down on the play. Lincoln LeBrun. He's got to be in double figures in tackles already for St. Mary's. So Rotter with about a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8 at the 29. Just underway in the third quarter. St. Mary's 14, Centerville 7. Again, St. Mary's plays in the Dakota Valley Conference. Centerville in the Great Plains Conference East Division. So 2nd and 8 for the Tornadoes from their own 29. Here's another pitch to Rotter. Rotter, fighting for yardage, is pushed back.
Logan Reuter on the carry.
Nope, I'm sorry. Logan Reuter with the carry.
Picks up 3 on the play, brings up 3rd and 4.
So a pickup of about 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd down along 4 at the 33-yard line. Centerville going to the spread formation. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 here on the near side. Here's motion by Pollard and a little dump pass, and it's dropped. Noah Schoenfelter didn't look the ball in before he saw where he was at. And that'll bring up 4th down and probably the second punt coming up for Centerville. Yep, so Alec Austin with a punt in the first half. Here is his 6th punt of the season, and it's a boomer. Nobody back deep for St. Mary's. The ball takes a great 9-9 bounce at the 35-yard line.
35-yard line, 1st and 10 Cardinals.
So a 30-yard punt and no return. Here comes St. Mary's, and you can probably guess what they'd like to do here with a 14-7 lead with 10:01 left to go in the third quarter. They would like nothing but a steady ground game to use up the clock. Here's the pitch to LeBrun, and LeBrun trying to get into the open. Ankle tackled that time by Hogan Hybertson. After a decent gain.
Brought down by a Leopardov.
He gets across the 40 to the 43-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and 3 after a gain of 7. Motion, handoff LeBrun, trying to get to the outside, and he does. Flag on the play, though, as he is tackled on the far sideline in Centerville territory, but hold the phone, this may be a hold. And it is against St. Mary's. Holding St. Mary's right at the line of gain at the 45. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. If they mark it off where I think they're marking it off, yep. Ball marked back at the 35, so it's 2nd and 10. Clock running with 9:19 left to go third quarter. St. Mary's 14, Centerville 7, just underway here in quarter number 3. And Centerville with the ball first. We'll punt it away after a 3 and out. Here is Tremere Hansen. Hansen breaking tackles and then upended at midfield after about a 15-yard gain. Actually, it's a 16-yard gain to the Centerville 49 for another Cardinal first down. Yeah, I'm sure Coach Flemmer would love nothing more than to take about 5 or 6 minutes off the clock here on a drive to get another score. Pitch to LeBrun, flag on the play. This usually means a false start on the offense. False start against St. Mary's. We'll move it from the 49 to the Well, back to the 45. Will be first and a long 15. Tremere Hansen coming to the near side, being chased by Charlie Eide, and Eide will bring him down for a loss. Charlie Eide stayed with Tremere Hansen on the play, and the loss on the play back to the St. Mary's 42, where it'll be second down and 19, now with 8 minutes to go, third quarter. And St. Mary's with a 14-7 lead. Again, St. Mary's had won 58-6, 52-0, 52-0, and 54-6 coming into tonight's action. They were averaging 54 points a game after 4 games with an undefeated mark. Here is Tremere Hansen, fumbles, and Centerville's got it. A second fumble by St. Mary's, and Corbin Topol will recover it.
Recovered by Corbin Topol, Tornadoes, first down.
So the second fumble by St. Mary's will give the Tornadoes excellent field position. First and 10 at the St. Mary's 45.
On the recovery.
So let's see if the Tornadoes can get something cranking. Their last 3 possessions, a punt, the end of the half, and the first possession of this third quarter, a punt. Alec Austin, pass is caught up the right sideline. Topol at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone, touchdown! Touchdown Centerville, a 45-yard pass from Alec Austin to Corbin Topol. And Topol with his second touchdown reception of the season with 7:23. So that is points off turnovers, folks. And the Tornadoes are a point away from tying it up with 7:23 left to go. Alec Austin found Corbin Topol, and he ran up the near sideline. Now the extra point by Noah Schoenfelter, who is 11 of 12 in PATs. Again, the holder, Alec Austin. Charlie Eiley, the snapper, and the kick is up, but it is no good. Oh, my.
No good. There is a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play, so hold on and see what's going on here. And it appears to be on St. Mary's. Running into the kicker, it looked like, on St. Mary's. So the ball moved closer to the 1. And Centerville's going for 2. Alec Austin with Topol behind him. High snap. And a throw toward the end zone, and the pass for 2 fails, even after the running into the kicker penalty. 7:23 left to go in the third quarter. Now St. Mary's 14, Centerville 13 on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Central Farmers Cooperative, Fremar LLC, is an agriculture-based company that provides products, services, and market access in the areas of agronomy, feed, grain, and petroleum. Whether it is their agronomy team helping with production, the grain team assisting in developing a marketing plan, or many other services the Central Farmers Co-op and Fremar offer, they look forward to servicing and personalizing their patrons' farming operations. With locations across southeast South Dakota, for your farming purposes, make it Central Farmers Co-op and Fremar.
Well, after a second St. Mary's fumble. A 45-yard drive and a 25-yard touchdown pass. Alec Austin to Corbin Topol. But the kick after was missed. And after a running into the kicker penalty on St. Mary's, Centerville, a high snap on a 2-point conversion, and the pass falls incomplete. Here's the kickoff. And Lincoln LeBrun trying to get some traction. He will get to about the 40-yard line. And so St. Mary's, with their second possession of the second half, 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. So the second possession of the third quarter, they have not changed their offensive. And here is a quick hitter by LeBrun. We have seen instances where Tremere Hansen is at quarterback. That's when they got the long pass to Jackson Bomberger for their go-ahead touchdown late in the first half. Gain of 8. And 2nd and 2 from the 47. Handoff is to Tremere Hansen. And he will get to midfield and a little bit further. First down for St. Mary's. 6:43 left to go, third quarter. St. Mary's 14, Centerville 13.
That is good for a first down.
And out in the open, this is LeBrun. Or check that, Tremere Hansen, but finally brought down after an explosive play by Lane Reuter of Centerville. And a 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the 29-yard line. We're halfway through the third quarter. 14-13 St. Mary's. St. Mary's 1st and 10 at the Centerville 29. Motion by LeBrun. And here is Tremere Hansen.
Again, Hansen on the carry.
Tremere Hansen
Brought down by Hybertson and Reuter.
will be brought down after about a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 1. And Del Rapids just gobbling up yards. Again, they started from their own 40-yard line. Oop, movement. Both teams pointing at each other. This might be a false start on St. Mary's, though. And it is. False start. So instead of 2nd and a long 1, it'll be 2nd and a long 6. Back at the 31-yard line. 5:23 left to go, third quarter. Again, this game has gone by fast, no doubt about it. And another trap play to Tremere Hansen. Hansen is knocked out of bounds on the near sideline, but not before getting another first down.
Hansen on the carry.
He will be downed at the... looks to be the 14-yard line. Maybe closer than that, the 13. 1st and 10, St. Mary's at the Centerville 13. Hand off to LeBrun, trying to get to the outside, tries to cut back in, but is cut down at the 10-yard line. Alec Austin in on the stop along with others. And after a gain of 3, it'll be 2nd and 7 from the Centerville 10. Now 4:29 left to go, third quarter. St. Mary's in the red zone. with a 2nd and 7 at the Centerville 10. And the handoff to the fullback, Cade Lutt.
Lutt on the carry, flag on the play.
There is another flag on the play and another false start on St. Mary's. They have certainly had their share of penalties tonight, plus 2 turnovers, one of which led to the second Centerville touchdown just a few minutes ago. Clock now winding up, 4:11 left to go in the quarter. 2nd down, and a long 11 from the 15.
Lutt on the carry.
And Cade Lutt with his 3rd carry of the game, his 2nd straight carry. So a gain of 2. To the 14-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and 9. And if you're a Centerville fan, you want your defense to rise up here, although this is 4-down territory for St. Mary's. Here's the handoff to Tremere Hansen. Hansen shy of the 10-yard line if he's not on it. And it's 4th down and 5 after a gain of about 4 at the 10. So 4th down and about 5, St. Mary's between the 9 and the 10 of Centerville. Back to throw is Bomberger. Little dump pass, and it's caught, and it's going to be, very close to a 1st down, out of bounds, but it looks like Centerville has stopped it shy of the line to gain. And the Tornadoes will take over. It was a pass to the right. Didn't see who caught it. I think it was Isaac Allers, a backup tight end, but he was taken out of bounds on the far sideline, short of the line to gain, and a great drive by St. Mary's starting at their own 40 will go over on downs. This is the first time that the Cardinals have turned the ball over on downs, and now with 2:41 left to go in the 3rd quarter, 14-13 St. Mary's. Centerville will have their worst field position to start a drive just beyond their own 5-yard line.
Schoenfelder on the carry. Brought down by Lutt. Loss on the play brings up 2nd and 12.
And a loss on the play. Didn't see who had that last carry, but a loss of 2 back to the 3, and it's 2nd and 12. Yeah, Centerville has started at their own 33 at midfield, their own 38, their own 39, their own 27 at the St. Mary's 45 when they scored a touchdown, and now they have 2nd and 12 back at their own 3. Whoops, somebody moved. And it was on St. Mary's. It's like Gavin Pika had a move. And now the officials are discussing it. Is it offside or is it a false start? Was Pika drawn offside? False start on Centerville. Wow. And that'll be half the distance to the goal, so 2nd down and about 14 and a half inside their own 2. 1:43 left to go in the quarter. So Centerville really backed up. They're in their spread formation. From his own end zone, Austin over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Noah Schoenfelter. And the coverage that time by the cornerback, Jake Heinitz, 8 tackles and an interception coming into tonight's game. And now 3rd and about 14. Between 13 and 14 from the 1.5-yard line of Centerville. 1:27 left to go in the 3rd, 14-13 St. Mary's. Again from his own end zone, Austin, incomplete. He had a man open on a slant pattern, and it was Noah Schoenfelter, but the pass is incomplete, and that brings up 4th down and a long 13, and Centerville will have to punt it away for the 2nd time this half and the 3rd time in the game from deep in their own end zone. Tremere Hansen back deep at the Centerville 40. So from the back of the end zone, Alec Austin, good snap, good punt. Tremere Hansen from the 35 fumbled and then got it back and fell forward. It was Noah Schoenfelter who made the tackle on special teams, but now St. Mary's, with their first start in Centerville territory, at the 35-yard line. 1:17 left to go, 3rd quarter. St. Mary's 14, Centerville 13. Both teams have missed 2-point conversions in the game. Back to throw, Bomberger. Bomberger looking long. He's got a man open, and it's caught for a St. Mary's touchdown.
Pass is complete to number 2, Logan Bauer.
Logan Bauer will get his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. He had a 75-yard pass from Bomberger, this time with 1:09 left to go in the quarter. Bomberger will get a 35-yard touchdown pass. So St. Mary's going for 2. And a missed tackle, and Tremere Hansen will get into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So with 1:09 left to go, 3rd quarter, it's now St. Mary's 22 and Centerville 13 on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Could you use some extra cash? Every Thursday night, we're hosting Chase the Pink Ace with a large jackpot and growing jackpot. I'm R.F. Bowie, the founder of Team Bowie Cares. 100% of the profits go to local cancer patients fighting their fight. You can get your tickets at any business inside Al's Oasis or online at chasethepinkace.org. Drawing is held every Thursday night at 8:08 p.m. at the Last Chance Saloon inside Al's Oasis. Thanks for caring.
College is where ideas come to life, where you'll find your pack. And at Northern State University, you'll leave the pack. It's part of the Northern Experience, right here in Aberdeen, South Dakota. This is where the next generation of leaders thrive through world-class.
Well, Centerville, deep in their own territory, had to punt it out of the back of their own end zone with Alec Austin. Tremere Hansen got it to the Centerville 35, and it only took one play. 35-yard touchdown pass. Jackson Bomberger to Logan Bauer. Bauer now with his 2nd and 3rd touchdown receptions of the season. And Bomberger, with those 2 touchdown passes, now has 3 on the season. Another short kick. One of the up men for Centerville has it. And Centerville will be starting shy of their own 40-yard line with 1:04 left to go in the 3rd. And St. Mary's up by 2 scores, 22-13. All right, 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes at the 40. Little dump over the middle, and not able to meet the pass was Hogan Hybertson. Again, the leading receiver coming in, 13 catches, 214 yards, averaging 16 yards a catch with 2 touchdown catches, but he couldn't catch up with that one, and it's 2nd and 10 from the 40. Tornadoes in the spread formation. Topol beside Austin. Alec to throw, and a catch here on the near sideline. Great move by Noah Schoenfelter, and then he's bulldogged down. Lincoln LeBrun has come up with the ball, saying he took it right away from Noah Schoenfelter, but a catch and a first down at the St. Mary's 49-yard line, an 11-yard gain and a Tornado first down. Maybe one more play here in the third quarter, and St. Mary's, unless Centerville can get a score in the next 35 seconds to end this quarter, will have a 2-scored lead. Austin standing still, slant pattern to Topol, another great move. He will get to near the 42-yard line. Well, they'll mark it at the St. Mary's 41, so it'll be 2nd and 9. And Centerville rushes up to the line. 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the third quarter. They get the playoff. Or no, did they stop it when the clock reached 0? Yep, that's the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's St. Mary's from Del Rapids 22 and Centerville 13 back with the fourth quarter after these couple spots from our sponsors on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Facilities, hands-on experiences, and generous scholarship opportunities to impact every part of who you're meant to be. Don't just earn a degree, shape your future and experience Northern.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do.
All right, fourth quarter just about to start. At the end of 3, St. Mary's 22 and Centerville 13. Back to throw and a little dump pass to Topol. Topol breaking a tackle, still on his feet, and has a big play for a big first down in St. Mary's territory, 1st and 10, as the fourth quarter underway, as Centerville trying to keep pace here, and now timeout for an injury. We've got a cramp. So again, on the pass from Austin to Topol to the St. Mary's 25, but right now taking care of a cramp. So hard to try to relax when you got somebody pulling on it. Another coach has brought out a spray can. And it was Carlo Pica, the nose guard. And he's all right, Mom. So 1st and 10, Centerville in the middle of the field at the St. Mary's 25. 10 seconds off the fourth quarter clock, 22-13, St. Mary's. Austin to throw with a couple steps, and the pass right through the hands of Charlie Eide, and just about intercepted. And it looked like Cade Lutt had a pretty good chance at it after it glanced off Charlie Eide's hand, and now 2nd and 10 at the, well, now they say the 24. Austin, pass to the right, and caught by Hogan Hybertson. But about 3 on the play to the 26. It'll be 3rd down and 7. So Centerville with a couple downs to get 7 yards to keep it going. Trailing by 9. Again, both teams have missed 2-point conversions in the game. Pass to the left, and it's caught. 1st down. Corbin Topol has been a big part of the offense tonight. Tremere Hansen with the snap for St. Mary's, and it's another Centerville 1st down, this time a 1st and goal, just inside the 10. So 1st and goal, Centerville, just inside the St. Mary's 10. 3 receivers to the far side. Back to throw Austin. Austin, slant pattern over the middle.
Austin's pass incomplete.
And the pass is incomplete. He did have pressure that time. So 2nd and goal from just inside the 10. Clock stops on the incompletion. 10:43 to go. 22-13, St. Mary's. Again, this is the 2nd ranked team in 9-man that Centerville has hosted. 3 weeks ago, Alcester Hudson held off the Tornadoes 26-21. And Alcester Hudson having a tussle with Freeman, Marion Freeman Academy in Alcester tonight. Pass over the middle, incomplete. Topol was the intended receiver, and now it's 3rd and goal for Centerville inside the 10. Again, this drive started from the Centerville 40. Centerville coach Kyle Brown looking to keep pace. Get a 9-point lead by St. Mary's, down to 1 score. So on 3rd and goal, here's Austin. Austin toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. And Noah Schoenfelter, who about 2 or 3 times has claimed that he was interfered with on incomplete passes, doesn't get a call here, and it's 4th and goal from the 10. Now with 10:32 left to go. Well, you can ask the question, but sometimes it's not answered. And that's been the case with Noah Schoenfelter, and good coverage by St. Mary's. Well, here's a field goal try. So, a 27-yard attempt by Noah Schoenfelter, 0 for 1, and it's blocked. A 27-yard field goal attempt blocked, and the officials are meeting, and the ball will be marked at the 20, I think. No, it's marked where the ball was received. So a 27-yard field goal by Noah Schoenfelter blocked. And St. Mary's will have their worst field position to start a drive. 1st and 10 inside the 5. And I'm trying to see where exactly they are.
Brought down by Hogan Hybertson. Picks up 5 on the play.
It's a gain of 5. It looks like it started at their own 2. But a gain of 5 will get them a little bit more room. 2nd and 5 at the 7.
Once again, Lutt on the carry.
Lutt on the carry. Had maybe 1 carry in the first half, now about 3 or 4 here in the second to try to get some room up the middle. It's a gain of 2, 3rd down and 3. So 3rd down and 3. Here's the pitch and a 1st down.
Hanson on the carry, brought down by Alec Austin. That's good for a Cardinals 1st down.
Hanson with the carry and a 1st down out of the shadow of their own end zone. He needed 3. He got to the 14 for a St. Mary's 1st down. Hand off to LeBrun to the near sideline.
LeBrun on the carry.
Lincoln LeBrun hasn't carried much this second half, but we were calling his name a lot, not only on offense but on defense as well. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 17.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Whoops. Somebody moved. Well, one guy moved and the other guy moved, so let's see what this is. And St. Mary's walking back, another false start.
Against the Cardinals.
Clock stops with 8:45 to go, 22-13, St. Mary's. So on 2nd and 12, some running room off the far side
On the carry.
for Tremere Hansen. Again, impressive numbers for both Tremere Hansen and Lincoln LeBrun coming in. Tremere Hansen, 446 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. LeBrun, 491 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. And they were averaging 54 points a game in their 4-0 start to the season. Here's a run up the middle for not much. Now 8 minutes to go.
Lutt on the carry.
And Cade Lutt now, 6 foot, 155 and a junior, getting the majority of the carries. And that was on 3rd down. And now it's 4th down and very short. Shy of the 25, and now a timeout. Or they're going to measure it. Yep, here come the sticks from the far sideline to see just how close it is. And it is a first down by the nose of a football.
Measurement, first down, Cardinal.
So a fresh set of downs for St. Mary's with 7:37 to go, leading 22-13 over Centerville. Again, they took this from their own 2-yard line after Noah Schoenfelter had a 27-yard field goal attempt blocked that would have made it a one-score game. But now the clock continues to run. So 1st and 10 for St. Mary's at the 25. Handoff goes to Lutt, and he's got some room up the left sideline. 2 guys to beat. He will get into Centerville territory, an explosive play, and a first down after a 26-yard scamper to the Centerville 49-yard line. And now the Tornadoes clock watching here. They need something big to happen with 6:55 to go. So 1st and 10 from the 49, and Bomberger waiting for the official to start the 10-second countdown. Here's a pitch to LeBrun, and LeBrun will get a first down after about an 11-yard gain to the Centerville 38-yard line. Impressive drive, a time-consuming drive by St. Mary's. As again, after a blocked field goal attempt by Centerville, St. Mary's took it from their own 2. They're at the Centerville 38-yard line with another 1st and 10. Here's motion. Handoff to Tremere Hansen, and he's stacked up after about a 1 or 2 yard gain to the Centerville 36-yard line. But valuable time running away from the Tornadoes. Now under 6 minutes to go in the game. 5:41 left to go, as a matter of fact. 22-13, St. Mary's. So on 2nd and 8 from the 36. Whoops. Nope. That was Bomberger getting under center. I thought one of the guards had moved. And now the count has begun, and now a timeout. And timeout, Del Rapids. 5:11 to go. 22-13, St. Mary's over Centerville. Will be back after one sponsor here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
And share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Mr. G's Tires in Centerville wants you to know that your bald tires aren't going to get you to the Tornadoes game tonight. Checking your tires is a must if you want to get to the game. Mr. G's Tires in Centerville makes choosing your brand of tires as easy as 1, 2, 3, getting you on the road safe and in no time at all. With competitive prices and dependable service, you're sure to score with Mr. G's Tires in Centerville.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing.
5:11 left to go. Centerville takes the first time out of the second half. They have 2 left. St. Mary's with all 3 of theirs. No, correction. St. Mary's took that timeout, not Centerville. So St. Mary's with 2 timeouts left. Centerville with all 3 of theirs. And the Cardinals are driving. Here's the pitch.
LeBrun on the carry.
as Lincoln LeBrun will get the carry to the 30-yard line where it'll be third down and about 2. But St. Mary's not in a hurry. They have taken this from their own 2 after a 27-yard field goal attempt by Centerville was blocked. That would have made it a one-score game. It's just a case of St. Mary's just wearing down Centerville on this drive. And up the far sideline to about the 17-yard line by Tremere Hansen. He will get a 13-yard gain and another St. Mary's first down. Now, folks, I'm going way back, but in the 1980s, when North Dakota State was winning Division II titles, I remember a game at Brookings against South Dakota State. North Dakota State took the ball from their own 2 and had a 98-yard drive, and I swear it took about 10 minutes, and they did it all on the ground. And this is what St. Mary's is doing right now on a long drive and a flag on the play as the carry is up the middle to LeBrun. The gain is to the 5-yard line, but I believe this is a hold on St. Mary's. Clock stops with 2:48 to go, holding on St. Mary's to kind of slow the Cardinals down. No, I'm sorry, 3:48 to go. The clock here on the west end at Centerville is missing a bar. So it'll be 1st and 15 back at the 17 of Centerville for St. Mary's. Centerville trying to get a stop. But St. Mary's has just marched down the field methodically. And here is a touchdown run by LeBrun. Touchdown for St. Mary's. Lincoln LeBrun with his first score of the night. And with 3:25 left to go, St. Mary's now up 28-13 with a 2-point conversion coming up. And for LeBrun, as much as he's carried, that is his 8th touchdown run of the season. Here's the pitch to Tremere Hansen, walks into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So after a 17-yard run by LeBrun, it's Tremere Hansen with another 2-point conversion, and with 3:25 left to go, it's now St. Mary's 30 and Centerville 13 on a 98-yard drive. We'll be back after this short one-sponsor break on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
You have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Well, folks, if you got one of those 2025 Grossenberg implement calendars, you probably...
Well, just like the first half, Centerville got the first score in each half, and now St. Mary's with 2 scores after that. And now St. Mary's with a 17-point lead, 30-13, 3:25 to go. Josh Liebel to kick it off for St. Mary's. Thomas Rotter and Clayton Brown back deep for the Tornadoes, standing at about their own 25. Liebel hasn't really kicked it that deep. Centerville has has been able to get decent field position to start a drive, but they need 3 scores, and they need them in a hurry. And a short kick recovered by Centerville at the 45-yard line. But you can pretty much expect the ball in the air for Centerville, trying to get a score. So Centerville trailing 30-13 with 3:22 to go. And let's see. They'll mark it at the 45. Again, Centerville's had decent field position to start drives. They turned it over on downs in the red zone in the first half. Here is Austin throwing on the run, and he overthrows Topol. And Tremere Hansen was on the coverage there, and it's 2nd and 10. As the game is really slowed down. But, of course, St. Mary's with an impressive 98-yard drive to go up by 17 with 3:13 to go. From the empty backfield, Austin to throw. Austin being rushed, and he's going to be sacked. Sacked for a loss by Alex Lindemann, 6'4", 290, and a junior. 11.5 tackles coming in and his first sack of the season. And the loss back to the 40-yard line where it's 3rd and 13. Now under 3 minutes to go. Austin looking over the middle. Got a catch. Topol breaks away from one tackle and gets into
36-yard line. That's good for a Tornado first down.
And gets to the 40-yard line. So a 26-yard gain. 1st and 10 Centerville at the St. Mary's 40. Now 2.5 left to go. Austin to throw. Looking over the middle. Got a catch and a run. Noah Schoenfelter will head down the field.
Good for another Tornado first down.
And trying to get a beat on where it's at. Looks like the 25, so a 15-yard slant pattern for another Tornado first down. Austin to throw. Austin chased out of the pocket, throws on the run, caught and dropped. Oh, wide open in the end zone. I believe it was Pollard. Yep, it was intended for Colin Pollard, who does have a touchdown catch. 92 yards receiving coming in. And now a timeout. Who took the timeout? I got to believe it's Centerville. So Centerville with its first timeout of the second half. They and St. Mary's each have 2. 2:10 left to go. 30-13, St. Mary's. Well, the first quarter, for the most part, dominated by Centerville, and then a couple scores in the second quarter by St. Mary's. At halftime, it was 14-7, 22-13 after 3 quarters, and Centerville looking to get it to 1 score, had a 27-yard field goal attempt blocked, and then St. Mary's from their own 2-yard line, an impressive 98-yard drive to put them up 3 scores with 2:10 to go. So 2nd and 10 at the 21. Austin to throw. Austin looking over the middle. Got a catch and then a drop. Noah Schoenfelter. He heard footsteps that time. Didn't look the ball in. He had 2 Cardinals converging on him. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 from the 21. Now with 2:05 to go. Again, St. Mary's with 2 turnovers tonight. One of those fumbles turned into a Centerville touchdown. But an extra point was missed, and then a 2-point conversion was missed. That would have given Centerville the lead. Here's a wide open catch for a touchdown. Looks like Topol with the touchdown catch.
Pass complete for a touchdown, Corbin Topol.
Corbin Topol with the touchdown catch with 1:59 to go. And Centerville now down 30-19. So Austin, 21-yard pass to Topol, and the Tornadoes going for 2. Here's a rollout to the right into the end zone, caught for the 2-point conversion. I believe it was Pollard.
Conversion attempt is good. Complete to Charlie Idy.
Charlie Idy with the 2-point conversion. It's now 30-21 in favor of St. Mary's over Centerville. 1:59 to go on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Met their sneaky little buddy, Gino. Let's be honest, some of you forgot about him. Here's the deal. When you swing in for harvest parts, just show the parts crew where Gino's hiding on that calendar, and they'll hand you a free can of pop. That's right. Find Gino, point him out, and claim your prize. Easy as that. Grossenberg Implement, helping with harvest and keeping you refreshed, one pop at a time.
CoreCares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers.
All right, a 55-yard drive as Alec Austin, 21-yard pass to Topol, and Austin with a pass for Idy for the 2-point conversion to make it a 9-point St. Mary's lead, 30-21. And boy, ifs and buts and candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas if Centerville had gotten a 1 or 2-point conversion on their last touchdown before this one. It'd be a 1-score game. Here's a kick on the ground, a onside kick that does go more than 10 yards, but it's recovered by St. Mary's. They can pretty much run out the clock here with 1:58 to go, and St. Mary's leading 30-21. You'll remember in the Alcester-Hudson game, with Alcester-Hudson winning 26-21, I believe the Cubs missed 3 out of 4 2-point conversions, and Centerville, losing by only 5, was in the red zone, but had a couple of passes at the end incomplete. That would have made the big difference in that one. Here's the pitch to Lincoln LeBrun. And LeBrun will get to midfield. And now Centerville will take a timeout. So that has got to be their second timeout with 1:54 to go, so they can only stop the clock one more time. And they're down 9. So each team, as we mentioned before, has missed a 2-point conversion in the game. St. Mary's on their first touchdown. They trailed Centerville at the time 7-6. And then Centerville, after a touchdown, the extra point was wide left, but a running into the kicker penalty put it at the 1. Centerville trying for 2. Alec Austin got a high snap and just threw it up for grabs, and it was incomplete, and that is the difference in the game. A 1 or 2-point conversion by Centerville would make it a 1-score game, but instead it's a 9-point lead for St. Mary's, with a 2nd down and 7 near midfield at the 49. And here's the pitch to LeBrun.
Hanson on the carry.
Or no, Tremere Hansen with the carry. And now Centerville will take their final timeout. It'll be 3rd and 2 with 1:48 left to go. It's St. Mary's 30, Centerville 21. Let's take this one sponsor break here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
Exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
At Knutson Masonry, they take pride in their work. They work hard to produce quality masonry as they continue to build their business brick by brick. They are honored to have been a part of numerous projects of all sizes.
All right, 3rd down and about 2. Here's the pitch to LeBrun. He will drive and will get a first down, and now that'll pretty much do it, as Del Rapids, with no more Centerville timeouts, can run the clock out and come away with a big win on the road to stay undefeated. Certainly the first big competition that St. Mary's has had this year, after winning 58-6, 52-0 twice, and 54-6 last week. Clock running with 1:20 to go. Jackson Bomberger just standing up, waiting for the official to start the 10-second countdown. Yep. And the victory formation. So it'll be 2nd down and about 11. 1 minute to go. Another great effort by Centerville tonight. Again, they had 2 weeks to get ready for the St. Mary's team after winning at Garrettson a couple weeks ago, 35-21. But they've had their bye, and now they will fall to 2-2 with 4 games remaining. And another touchdown back at the 44-yard line. And that should pretty much do it. The final score will read, with still 23 seconds counting down on the clock, St. Mary's with 30 and Centerville with 21. Again, St. Mary's ranked 3rd in the South Dakota Prep Media Poll and 3rd in the South Dakota Football Coaches Association poll in Class 9B, will more than likely keep their ranking. Centerville will fall to 2-2 on the season. Again, St. Mary's will host Iroquois, Lake Preston next Friday, and Centerville will be at Irene Wakanda, and we'll be back to tell you about this one with the scoring summary and then the scores from Class 9A and other area scores in the other classes after this timeout here on Centerville Tornadoes Live.
A wide variety of projects, both residential and commercial, across the tri-state region. They have done large projects such as schools and a range of residential, from house exteriors to mailboxes and fireplaces. Knutson Masonry is proud to have served so many satisfied customers and are proud supporters of the Tornadoes.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today, and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Honesty. We try to be honest.
All right, back to wrap things up here at the Stan Schmidt Sports Complex in Centerville, along with Noah at the controls, Joe Van Gore. And the final again, it's St. Mary's, still undefeated in 9B at 5-0, defeating Centerville, who's now 2-2 in Class 9A, 30-21. Here's the scoring summary of the game. After St. Mary's had the ball first and had to punt it away, Centerville had a 67-yard drive culminating in an Alec Austin 8-yard touchdown run with 4:23 left to go first quarter. The Noah Schoenfelter kick made it Centerville 7, St. Mary's nothing. That was the score after one quarter. But then St. Mary's with a couple scores in the second quarter. It was Jackson Bomberger with a 75-yard touchdown pass to Logan Bauer with 8:13 left in the half. But the run for two failed on an 87-yard drive. Centerville led 7-6. But then St. Mary's would take the lead for good with 38 seconds left to go in the first half. It was Tremere Hansen with a 2-yard touchdown run, and Hansen had the 2-point conversion. It was St. Mary's 14, Centerville 7 on a 79-yard drive. 14-7, St. Mary's was the halftime score. But then Centerville took advantage of a second St. Mary's fumble at midfield. A 45-yard drive with 7:23 left to go in the third quarter. Alec Austin, a 25-yard touchdown pass to Corbin Topol, but the pass for two failed, and St. Mary's held on to the lead 14-13 on a 45-yard drive. Then with 1:09 left to go in the third, Jackson Bomberger with a second touchdown pass to Bauer, 35 yards, and the Hansen run made it 22-13 on a 35-yard drive, and this is after Centerville was pinned back in their own territory and had to punt it away. So after, and it was a one-play 35-yard drive late in the third quarter by St. Mary's to make it 22-13 Cardinals after the third. And then St. Mary's with a touchdown with 3:25 left to go. It was Lincoln LeBrun, a 17-yard touchdown run. The Tremere Hansen 2-point conversion on a 98-yard drive that took up a ton of time. And St. Mary's led 30-13. Centerville would add a touchdown with 1:59 to go. Alec Austin, a 21-yard touchdown pass to Corbin Topol. The pass to Charlie Ivey on the 2-point conversion, a 55-yard drive. St. Mary's led 30-21, and certainly the difference in the game as Centerville, I know, had a drive in the first half that ended on downs in the red zone, and then Centerville with that pass failing with that touchdown, 7:23 left to go in the third quarter. They had missed a kick there was a penalty for running into the kicker, the ball at the 1. Centerville going for 2, a high snap to Alec Austin, who had to throw it away, so that pass for 2 failed. And instead of being within 1 score after the touchdown with 1:59 left to go in the game, or 1 score, it was a 9-point lead, 2 scores, and the final score 30-21. We'll tell you what's next for both these teams coming up in a moment. Again, St. Mary's now 5-0, and Centerville, coming off their bye, is now 2-2. In the other 9A games, Harriet Selby area beat Timberlake 38-0. These are scores from SD Score Feed now that you see on our stream here on Centerville Tornadoes Live. Platte Geddes over Woolsey Wessington 42-14. Lyman over Bennett County 30-20. 3 minutes left to go. Harding County Bison over Lemon McIntosh 58-16. Gayville Vollen was leading Irene Wakanda in the third quarter. I believe it was 46-14 in the third. Sully Buttes leading Gettysburg 30-0. 1 minute to go in that game. 6 minutes to go in Alcester. Freeman Marion Freeman Academy. They are on a roll. The number 1 team in 9AA beats the number 3, or is leading the number 3 team in 9A, Alcester Hudson, 38-19. Castlewood over Wilmot, 56-21. North Central beat Northwestern 33-0. Howard over Canastota, 54-8. Dubrook area over Chester area, 34-15. Esteline Hendricks beats Waverly South Shore 44-0. Phillip over Kadoka area 25-8, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. 9B scores from the area. Avon beat Cologne 67-0. Howard over Canastota 54-8. Scotland Menno over Burke 53-14. In 9AA from the area, we gave you that Freeman Marion Freeman Academy Alcester Hudson score. And Bonham defeated Kimball Whitelake 18-0. In 11A from the area, Madison leading Vermilion 34-15 late in that one. Sioux Falls Christian 50-point Canton, and that game had to have ended in the second half. West Central edged Lennox 9-7, second straight loss for the Orioles. Tri-Valley beat Dakota Valley 20-7. In 11B from the area, Elk Point Jefferson over Baltic 56-6. Wagner leads Bridgewater Emory Ethan 49-28, 8 minutes to go in that one. And in 11AA, the Yankton Bucks don't play until Saturday night at 6 o'clock at Harrisburg. Again, St. Mary's, now 5-0, will host Iroquois Lake Preston next Friday. On October 3rd, they have a bye. Then they'll host Alcester Hudson on October 10th. And then on October 17th, we'll wrap up the regular season hosting Sioux Falls Lutheran. Centerville, now 2-2, will be at Irene Wakanda next Friday. On the 3rd, they'll play Freeman Marion Freeman Academy in Marion. On October 10th, host Gayville Vollen. That is our next stream on Centerville Tornadoes Live. And then on October 17th, they will host a Great Plains Conference opponent, depending on the standings, after the 7th week of the season. So that wraps it up from the Stan Schmid Complex here in Centerville, South Dakota. Big thanks to Noah for producing tonight. I'm Joe Van Gore. Again, the final score is St. Mary's from Del Rapids 30 and Centerville 21. This has been a special sports presentation of Centerville Tornadoes Live on Live Ticket TV. Good night, everyone.